Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will share with you my price targets for Bitcoin and Ethereum as the bears continue to back the bulls up, and the bulls are standing on some pretty shaky ground right now. However, with that being said, we will take a look at what is required from the bulls to regain their footing. Now, the first chart we will take a look at are the 4-hour candles for Bitcoin on the Binance exchange. And I was actually watching this triangle wedge forming as the price action of Bitcoin continues to be rejected at around the 35,000 level and selling off down to around the 32,000 level. And then it started to chop its way up a little, again only to be rejected as it approached 35,000, and now we see it roll over, break this trend line of support. And when it broke this trend line of support, I actually jumped over to my OKX exchange account and opened a small short position on Bitcoin. And as you can see right now, it is up approximately 9%. And I will more than likely start taking profit around the 32,005 to 32,000 level. I'll probably scale out and start taking profit. And the real key of this trade is breaching through the 33,000 level. If the bears can push the price down through the 33,000 level, they will more than likely continue to push this price down. And as you can see, we're at 33,145. And so the bears are getting close to breaching through the 33,000 level. And that's what I'm looking for out of this trade. And on the flip side, I do have a pretty tight stop loss just above 33.6, with my entry price being almost 33.5. It was 33,497. So it's a pretty tight stop loss, but I understood for this trade to actually work out, I need the price to break down through 33,000. And so now we'll jump over to the Bitcoin one-day candle chart on Binance. And as we can see, the price of Bitcoin is pretty much moving sideways after the big sell-off in May, and the bears have thwarted every charge the bulls have put forward. And basically the bulls are showing up with no real volume when they try to push these prices up. As we can see, when we sold off to 31,000 over here, the bullish volume was very low compared to the bearish volume. And again, when we sold off into the 28.8 level, the bulls did step up with some volume, but that was extremely short-lived. And now we can see the volume has just completely fallen off. And that is one of the reasons why this looks like the bulls are on shaky ground and about to fall off a cliff. They're not showing up with any volume to push Bitcoin's price higher. And as we study the daily chart for Bitcoin, it really does look like it is headed for a bear market. We had the sell-off from the all-time high just shy of 65,000 down to 46,000. We got a bounce only to roll over and sell off to 30,000. And since then, we've been chopping around. And in all actuality, we're trending downwards and the bulls are not stepping up. And so once again, I'll jump over to the bull-bear cycle chart. And in reality, we could be somewhere in this area where we're moving sideways before the big decline. Because we have experienced the sell-off, the bounce, another sell-off, and then kind of moving sideways, which would be our sell-off, the bounce, another sell-off, and moving sideways. And so with my experience, what I'm witnessing right now looks more like the distribution area before the decline. And it is possible for us to decline into a bear market throughout the rest of the summer and then see the bulls come charging back in the fall or winter when the bears go into hibernation, and then we could see all-time new highs. And so let's jump over to the weekly chart for Bitcoin and see what that might look like. Now, as long as the bulls can keep the price in this zone here between 618 and the 50% level, which they have been able to do, although it's starting to look like they're getting weaker, as the price is currently dropped below the 50 EMA and appears to be headed back towards the 618 level of 30,000 for Bitcoin. Now, if the bears continue to push this price down and test the 30,000 level and breach through that level, then we're looking at the 28.8 level where we saw the price reject on this candle. After this level, the bear's next target would be the 786 level, which would be around 21,000, which in reality would just be a retest of the previous bull market's all-time high. And a lot of bull markets actually go back and retest their previous bull market run all-time highs, and we haven't done that yet in this market. And so it is possible over the next couple months we come down and revisit this level, and eventually the bears go back into hibernation and the bulls take charge and push this price back up. Now in reality, for the bulls to start pushing this price up, they're going to need to step up with some volume, and you can see where they tried to push the price up on these three candles, but there's no real volume. You can see the bearish volume is actually bigger than the bullish volume. So for the bulls to get their footing back, they need to start with pushing this price up above 35,000 and follow up with some volume and breach the 50% level of 37,000. After that, we can look at where these candles wick out at around 41,000. If the bulls can find their footing and get some volume behind them and start charging above that level, then we can look at the 382 level, which is around 43.5 to 44,000. If the bulls are able to breach the 43 or 44,000 level, then we'd be looking for continuation above 60,000, and from there we could set all-time new highs. But currently you need to use extreme caution when trading Bitcoin, especially on the long side, as we are in a downtrend and the bears have full control and are more than likely to continue to push the price down into the 30,000 level. And if the bulls break, then we're looking down to around 21,000. Alright, so that's pretty much the situation on Bitcoin. Now let's take a look at Ethereum. And so the one-day chart on Ethereum looks very similar to Bitcoin with the big sell-off, and now we're moving sideways. And again, if we refer back to the market cycle chart, we have seen perhaps our markup and have sold off and are currently in distribution before the decline into a bear market. That's what it looks like on the Ethereum chart to me. We saw our markup, we put in our top, we've sold off, we had a little bit of a bounce, and now we're trending downwards and slightly sideways, perhaps before we roll over into the bear market. And an area I was keeping a close eye on is this 618 to the 50% level on Ethereum on the daily chart. And we are actually down below the 618 level on the daily chart and selling off. And then we're looking down at perhaps the 786 level, which is around that 1700 level. But with that being said, if we jump over to the weekly chart for Ethereum, we are still within the 618 to the 50% level. And so if the bulls can maintain this zone, however, it's not looking that promising as we are currently selling off back towards this 168 level, which would be a line in the sand I'd like to see the bulls hold. But again, you can see there is no real volume on the bull side versus the bears who continue to push this price down. We could see the price dip back down to around the 1700 level where we have seen it come into a couple times and recover, but again with very weak volume. And if the bulls don't show up with any type of volume, we could see the bears break their back down to the 786 level, which is around 1200, and we see that level as prior support. And so that 1200 level would be a key level of support. However, we do have a little bit of support as well at the 1400 level. And so the bears are targeting 1900, 1700, 1400, and then perhaps 1200. Now, if we head into a big bear market, we could press down below 1200. Then we could be looking into triple digits somewhere between 900 and 300. Anywhere in those ranges would be viable targets. Now on the flip side, if the bulls can somehow find their footing and keep from falling off of this cliff, then the bulls would be looking to breach above the 50% level on the Fibonacci's, and that would be right around 2300 to 2400. After that, we'd be looking at the 382 level around 2800. 3000 is more than likely going to be a psychological level to breach above. Then from there, if the bulls step up with some real volume and some charging power, then we could get back up to around the 4,000 level or all-time new highs. Now, with that all being said, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, I do not see the bulls stepping up on either chart, and therefore the bears seem to be backing the bulls up and perhaps pushing the bulls off the cliff. Now, with that being said, there are opportunities to make money in the market. And in this case, we'll jump back over to my short on the OKX exchange, and we are getting closer to breaching the 33,000 level, and the trade's currently up almost 12%. So if the bears are able to breach down below 33,000, I will perhaps add more to this position and be shooting for a 32.5 to 32,000 level target. All right, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I just wanted to share with you where my price targets are for Bitcoin and Ethereum, whether they're bearish or bullish. As a trader, I'm willing to take shots at both sides. So if you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. If you want to see more videos like this video, then shoot that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, drop those down in the comment section down below. If you're interested in trading on the OKX exchange, I will drop a link in the description down below. And in closing, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.